Hi, I'm Terry Murphy, founder of the Women's Wisdom Network, Women in Business, Women in Real Estate in the Men's Room on Realty Times. And today we have a special guest. So can you imagine having this beautiful brand new baby in your arms and starting to do some lullabies that come from our nursery rhymes that we've had since we were kids, only to give it a second thought. I can't wait to have you meet Cassandra Lennox. She is a talented young mother who actually decided to use her talents to revolutionize and reinvent nursery rhymes for modern times. Thank you for joining us, Miss Cassandra.
Thank you for having me, Terry. I'm so excited to be here.
So there you are, rocking your baby, rockabye baby on the treetop. And then you start thinking about it. And of course, these have been traditional rhymes forever. I think people don't know that you are actually amazing at poetry as being a writer, but you took this concept and really brought it to a beautiful level. Tell us a little bit about how that got started.
Well, as you said, I was there with my little baby, Joey, and I was rocking him in the middle of the night and he was crying uncontrollably. And I was singing to him to try to calm him down. And as I'm singing Rockabye Baby, I got to that point where the cradle falls from the treetop and baby falls with it. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this calming? Why do people love these nursery rhymes so much? There's so many ways to just change it up a bit and make it positive and fun and happy.
Now, wait, change it up for you to change it up. I mean, nobody else did that for a million years. Rockabye Baby's been around forever. So,
right.
So that inspired you to do this incredible book, Mama Kangaroo, Nursery Rhymes for Modern Times. Of course, sans all my little stickies. But so was that the moment that inspired you to go into really walk your talk, do something differently?
Well, at that moment, I just decided, well, I like the tune of this song. I like the concept of rocking my baby Joey. So I just changed the words and I started singing it to him in a different way. And for me, it stuck. And from that point on, I would just sing it that way to my babies. And I called it the modern way. So it wasn't until a couple of years later that my littlest was born and I was rocking him to sleep in the middle of the night, remembering how I started that initially. And I thought, there's so many nursery rhymes that are dark and outdated. Like, let's do this. Let's just rewrite all of them. Maybe not all of them, but I just sat down after that and I said, it's go time. Let's do this. Let's rewrite them. And a couple of months later, that first book was in my hands.
Oh, no, now I have written books and I help people write books and we've written books. That's not so easy. First of all, you are a full-time mother and a wife and doing everything else you're doing. So sitting down to write a book is somewhat daunting. I mean, there are so many pieces you had to pull together. First of all, the time, the concepts, then the actual production of the book, the illustrators. I mean, there was a lot going on there. And then you had to have the concept, which was Mama Kangaroo. Tell us how that came about.
Well, since my little guy that I was rocking is named Joey, I decided that we would be Mama Kangaroo. I wanted to play off of Mother Goose, but change it up, of course. So Mama Kangaroo, as soon as I thought, oh, baby Joey, Mama Kangaroo, it just fit and it just fell into place from there. And I had to do the whole kangaroo. And then, of course, Nursery Rhymes for Modern Times, because that rhymes. And since that first one was considered the modern way of Rockabye Baby, that just stuck.
So your illustrations are beautiful. And I just want to hold up the book. You've got the little Mama Kangaroo with Joey in the pouch. And these other three are actually representative of your children.
Yeah, so all four represent my kids. I have a book here. So the oldest is supposed to be my daughter, Lily. And then we have the next one, that's Joey, who's quite grown now. He's 8. And then this is Kaylee. And then that's my littlest, Tyler, there in the pouch.
It's just so cute. But so you had to find an illustrator. And one of the things, open the book and show us some of the illustrations. They are precious. I am not an art person, so for me to say that is huge. But they are absolutely loving and adorable and sweet and engaging and friendly. Even Humpty Dumpty, which doesn't sound too good when you're a kid. I mean, he falls off a wall, breaks into a million pieces. What's nice about that? Yeah, look at that one. Isn't that just beautiful? I mean, her name is, tell us her name and a little bit about her and how you found her.
Jasmine Mills is absolutely phenomenal. She actually has an art studio in Virginia, and I found her online. My first few attempts at finding an illustrator did not work well, but third time was a charm, because when I connected with Jasmine, and she started by pretty much giving me like a little drawing of the concept of the cover. And I explained to her what I wanted. And when she sent that to me, I got butterflies in my stomach. Like it was exactly what I had envisioned for this book. And I just knew that she was the right illustrator for this, and she was going to bring it all to life. And she did a phenomenal job.
Well, how did you identify which nursery rhymes? I mean, as I went through the book, obviously you found Rockabye Baby, you found Ring Around the Rosie, which was fun. I mean, it again, adorable, adorable. You had obviously Rockabye Baby. You also had one that I thought was Hey Diddle Diddle. I mean, that was just kind of fun. So, I mean, obviously you had to sit down and write these things, and then you had to have like the poetry piece to it. But which ones, how did you identify? Were they ones that you used? Were they ones that you thought were the most popular? I mean, because there's quite a few actually.
I think I basically looked through nursery rhymes. I have a bunch of nursery rhyme books, and as I'm flipping through the pages, I just started writing down which ones seemed not just popular, but dark, like the most outdated, that just didn't make sense in modern times. And after I had a list of my favorite 20 or so, I sat down and just started writing, like playing the same little tunes in my head and trying to keep the rhythm very much the same as the originals, because that way we're kind of holding on to the tradition. You know, I wanted to keep that and keep that same kind of idea in most of them, but make them just nicer overall.
Well, I mean, tell us, I mean, as a young mom with children and a full life and school and everything else, what was your process for sitting down during that time? Did you wait till they went to bed? Did you do it early in the morning? How did you do that?
Well, basically, it was whenever inspiration strikes, whenever I would just randomly think of, oh, that's what I could do for that rhyme. And I would just kind of, try to sit down and get that done, which wasn't always easy. I mean, for kids, it gets a little crazy. And a lot of the rhymes in the book, when you see the brother and sister chasing each other, they're based on my kids. That happened, and he tripped over the doll, and with the laundry all over the place in another rhyme, that sparked the inspiration for that one. So it's a lot of just what happens in daily life. Then I would scribble it down, and sometimes I'd have to wait till they go to bed. But then I would just, take all those little things that happen throughout the day and turn it into a real life nursery rhyme.
Well, how did your children react to this? Because they were highly involved in it, especially because you showed them, you engaged them in this. Talk about how your children engaged.
Well, they memorized most of the rhymes, which is pretty impressive because there's 50 total. But
50,
especially the middle two.
50.
Yeah, 50.
Amazing.
A couple of them are completely original and not based on the classics, but majority of them are taken from the traditional nursery rhymes. But I'll walk into the room sometimes, and my kids will just be sitting there either reading the book or reciting the rhymes or doing their Ring Around the Rosies together and all playing, but they're doing it the modern way, and it warms my heart every time, because it's just something really surreal to take this idea and want to put smiles on families' faces. And then not only are my own kids like just warming my heart with that all the time, but I'm constantly getting videos and pictures from parents and showing me how much their kids enjoy the book. And it's a dream come true, honestly.
And not only that, but there's a trend today in baby showers to give a book instead of a card. And
Mhm.
I've done that several times because first of all, they're beautiful. And second of all, they're pretty childproof. I mean, they're pretty good. They're pretty sturdy. And it's just such a nice, beautiful way to I mean, a card is wonderful, seriously, but something that lasts, something that has some shelf power is just wonderful. And then people buy them for other people. Now, there's not just Mama Kangaroo. There's another version. You've got it right there behind you. I can see it, the blue one.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's more nursery rhymes for modern times. Right after I finished, right after the first one was published, I had some more ideas, and I kept thinking, oh, I could have done that one in the first book. I could have done this one then I'm like, well, I guess that's a sign. So I just started writing the second book about a week after the first one was published. and now we have the total of 50 rhymes.
So as a new author, how did you figure out how to do the publishing and all of the technical things that go with publishing a book? Tell us a little bit. I mean, clearly here you are a mom. You're not a published author. And a lot of people want to write books. I mean, we just did a whole program on that. So tell us, how did you do this? I mean, you're such a little person with children and stuff.
It was an adventure. I choose to use the word adventure because it was very interesting. I pretty much taught myself and learned as I went, which I'm proud of it, that I did just about everything by myself, as far as the formatting and the editing and finding my illustrator and coming up with the concepts for the website and the advertising and the social media, the whole bit. But looking back, the amount of time invested in all of that, I've learned that collaboration is a beautiful thing. And you can learn to do all these things yourself, but it's a very lengthy and time-consuming process. So now,
and that's
now
exactly,
I know better.
Yeah, now that's exactly why we have you on the Women's Wisdom Network, because it's about sharing and women supporting women. I'm sure there are other people that want to publish something or a thought about it, and they want to do it. But I mean, here's where I wanted to shine the spotlight on you. Full-time mom, young mother, kids in school, like you said, laundry and fighting, full-time husband, all the things that go with everyday life that we know of in this country. And yet you were able to pull this together in a way that brings joy beyond your knowing and such fun and such engagement that people can have. Let's talk a little bit about the husband support. Was he supportive of this? How did he help you? Did he help you? Was he your cheerleader?
He was definitely there when I said, oh, I have to write this rhyme. He made a real effort to keep the kids calm and not in my hair so that I could write. So yeah, he's very supportive of it, and he thinks it's pretty cool. So I mean, I'm glad to have his support. And he did say at the beginning, why am I not in the book? Because there's me and all the kids.
Oh, so, there's Papa, yeah.
So I made it up to him, and right here you could see Papa Kangaroo. And I wrote a whole thing about how Papa Kangaroo came home from work and the kids asked him to read Nursery Rhymes for Modern Times, and Mama's winking at him and he's like, I know the book well. So I made it really fun and cute to make sure that he got his little spotlight there in the book for supporting.
We want to take care of our men. Yes, we do. Well, there's a number of things that you did that went beyond the book, which I would like to put a little attention to, and that was even the bookmarks. And so we have all the little characters on one side, but it says, but there's even a poem on that as a bookmark. It says, back in earlier times, there were many nursery rhymes. Then they changed, grew, and are now just for you. Now dream so big, smile so wide, and enjoy the magic that's inside. I mean, how cute is that? And then you've got Hop Along the Journey at www.mamakangaroo.site. Is that the best way to find you?
Yeah, that you could either go to the mamakangaroo.site, or we're on Facebook.com/Mama Kangaroo Books, or of course there's my author website, which is CassandraLennox.com.
Cassandra Lennox, LENNOX.com. And just before we close out, I know that you're working on additional work. Let's get a little scoop on what's coming out.
Well, there is an entire Mama Kangaroo Teaches series in the works. I've already written about 5 of the books for that. I expect that there will be close to 20 in due time. I would also hope to make a board book for babies of the most childlike of the nursery rhymes, because as you said, it's a huge hit at baby showers. And I thought a really sturdy, durable board book would be an awesome addition to the collection. And we'll eventually have some more Mama Kangaroo products for sale. And eventually I would love for it to be an animated TV series. So we'll see what happens with that.
And it all started with rocking a baby. Well, I don't want you to mitigate. I wanted to get a little bit more information about the teaching series. Tell us what that looks like.
Well, basically, I'm going to take the different characters that are in the nursery rhymes, and each book is going to focus on a different value that parents try to teach their children. So one might be inspiration or courtesy or happiness or friendship or just different things that parents and teachers want to instill in their children, but do it in a really fun way where these characters show up like as each other's friends within the different books, and each one spotlights a different one of the characters and going through human like characteristics and human like endeavors in their life, and they learn a valuable lesson. And then at the very end, Mama Kangaroo is going to have her own page that summarizes the whole thing, of course, in a rhyme.
Well, you are going to have to join us again. Tell us a little bit about your own career. Are you speaking or are you just writing and publishing?
I'm sorry.
Well, I just know that there are other young mothers out there, and it always looks perfect on social media. I mean, it always looks perfect. And when we know that life doesn't always run perfectly, even when you have great goals, and focus is a big issue. And so here you are as a mom, you're doing this teaching thing. I know you're in the process of moving. There's a lot of moving parts in your life. So tell us, do you speak? Are you consulting? Are you doing any kind of community work where you're talking to other young mothers? Tell us a little bit more about Cassandra before we let you go.
Well, I was doing a lot of events for Mama Kangaroo, speaking at schools to the children and art festivals and different fundraisers. But with the current COVID situation, it's now everything's virtually. So I've been focusing on right now helping a lot of other authors to write their children's books. And it's pretty neat that I did take things step by step and learn it on my own, because now I'm helping people with writing their children's books and formatting their books and giving them some consultation on different ways that they can go about publishing. And it's really neat to help others that want to write a book, like bring their vision to life. So I've been focusing on that a lot, and then also doing a lot of other writing and freelancing.
I know you're doing a lot of work. I really admire what you do, but I think that what you bring to the table for Women's Wisdom Network is at the core of our values, which is women supporting women, and not necessarily with any kind of agenda except to move everything forward, because we know that that's how it really works. I am delighted. I'm hoping you come up with some swag. I can see everybody wanting their own Mama Kangaroo with a little Joey inside. And I just rent children, so it's not like I have any. I just think that knowing how attached, even Natasha Hazlett from Unstoppable, I gave her little girl a teddy bear that became her BFF forever. So we know that those are the kinds of things that they attach to something as positive as a character that they get to write in their head, because they're reciting things that are positive and beautiful and loving. I want to thank you for your contribution to people everywhere and their children. I know that will live on far beyond your knowing, which is all about what we do at Women's Wisdom Network. As that teaching series comes up, I sure hope you'll be able to join us again. Give us your email, Ms. Cassandra, so that people can directly contact you.
And that would be contact@CassandraLennox.com.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Terry Murphy for the Women's Wisdom Network, another great segment with how women are helping women. Thanks so much for joining us, and join us again soon.